I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm sorry.
We're not all hearing it.
Yeah, that's all. One chair too many. Okay, just backing up, see item B, all school board meetings shall proceed in accordance with school board policy. I would invite you to read the civility and decorum section at the top if you're going to be commenting on any items tonight. At this time, we will go for a roll call. Madam Secretary?
Sure. Mr. Chrisman?
Here.
Mr. Disler?
Here.
Mr. Fedorcha?
Here.
Ms. Franz? Here. Ms. Husak? Here. Mr. Kern? Here. Ms. Polk? Here. Ms. Snyder? Here. Mr. Green?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Public comment?
Yes, we have 4 people signed up for public comment on agenda items. I'm sorry, rather 3. First one is Mr. Hassall. Would you like to comment now?
Sure. That's
Okay.
fine.
Yep.
Where at? Like here?
Right here, you have, what do we do, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
5 minutes.
All right, since I was part of the committee meeting last Monday, there's a couple different topics that I wanted to address the school board with in tonight's decision that was elevated from last committee meeting regarding the solar panel project to move forward with the Peters campus. A couple things that came up. Mr. Kern, you made a comment that you do not want to have another electric bill to pay. I want to make the school board aware that they will.
Please, you can't attack individual board members. If you want to attack someone, you can attack me, you can attack Mr. Link,
Not
but
meant to be an
please,
attack, then I'll
please,
rephrase.
yeah,
I'll
please just
rephrase
say,
it.
a board member said, if you wouldn't mind doing that, please. Are you
That's
okay
fine.
with that? Yeah, just, I don't want to get in one-on-one fights with anybody,
fine.
He's a heck of a wrestler anyway, so you gotta watch it.
All right, so
Okay? Thank you.
regarding the solar panel project, the assumption seems to be there is no more electric bills to be paid to PP&L. This is incorrect. There's still probably around 30% charges for transmission, etc., to be paid from the school board or from the school. So this is not a complete, we don't pay this charge anymore. So what I'd be interested in here is, had a total cost of ownership been looked at this point, what would be the cost that is going to be paid to McClure, and also what is still available to be paid to PP&L for that. Is there truly a net savings around that end? I was interested also then to take a close look at the net metering topic. That I want to make sure everybody understands clearly what net metering is. That for Pennsylvania, it is being rolled over month to month to month, so if you overproduce on one month, that gets a credit for the next month. The question is, do we all understand what the truing up at the end of the PP&L year in May would be? What is the rate that is going to be, it's not a retail rate, it's a wholesale rate that's going to be applied to what we overproduce by the year end. Usually systems are being laid out to meet the annual demand of a consumer on a PPA, that there is no extra generation, that we have extra money in our pockets at the end of the day. Looking at the rate that had been provided in the contract that made public to today's agenda, that dropped from 10.19 cents down to 9 point and something. It is still a 30-year term that is being addressed to, so after, if we want to decide at fair market value at any point trying to buy the system out, we want to make sure everybody's aware that, for example, after 20 years, we're still looking at $700 and some thousand that we would still have to pay as the school to make funding available if you would like to get out of the contract. I just want to make sure that we are all aware that there's additional capital expenditure to considered down the road if at any given point in time before the 30 years are up that we wanted to get out of this. Also, I wanted to make sure that the ITC tax credits, if a 30% has been applied to that for American-made products, or if it's a 40% credit as an assumption, since the definition for what is American-made has yet to be clearly defined and should be expected by the summer. Also, in terms of SRECs, solar renewable energy credits, I want to make sure the board is also clearly aware on what that is, who gets the benefit around that end. I want to also find out for the public. It is a PPA, purchase power
1 minute
agreement.
remaining.
Time's
1
up.
minute remaining, 1 minute.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On who the financial provider is around that end, if McClure is funding this capital investment project on themselves, or if they have a third-party lending partner around that, and in addition to that, who is the contracting partner to install the units on the premise. If that is McClure themselves, or if they subcontract that as well. My experience in my job, purchasing a lot of capital equipment myself and being a facilities manager and a energy savings manager as well for my company. The more I contract, the more markups I handle rather than going with the provider of such system that can fund themselves.
15
And-
seconds.
Okay.
If you have another statement, go ahead and make it because I interrupted you, so.
Okay. In terms of the warranty of those panels that are being proposed, Mono 904, those are monocrystalline panels, which is nice, but also they come with a 25-year warranty. I would assume once the warranty expires, and still as the lesser McClure would be responsible for replacing them if they do not meet the energy producing criteria set forth. Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have Mrs. Bender, also looking to comment on solar project at Peters.
Can I wait until we reach that point in the agenda to make a comment?
It's now is currently the public comments
Okay.
time.
So I'm Katya Bender. I live at 1067 Pine Tree Drive, right down the street. I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that this project at Peters, while it does not involve removing, wetlands and wildlife, this involves removing space that our children at Peters currently use for various activities throughout the school year, including Fall Fest, which is something that is provided by the PTO. And sure, do we need to provide these things? No. Are they a requirement of the school day or the school year? No. Are they something that enriches their school experience? Absolutely. The area that's being proposed typically has the giant pumpkin run. It is everyone's favorite at the school. They look forward to this every year. And it would be a shame to see our students lose out on space and opportunities that they use to enrich their educational experience just so that we can save a couple $1 million over 30 years. That's all.
Thank you. And we also have Mr. Williams this evening, also looking to comment on solar project.
I was prepared to go at that segment of the meeting. However, I understand that McClure was the state preferred provider in the beginning, if I got the lingo correct in the beginning of the meetings, for the installation of the energy reducing light systems in the school systems, and also the renovation of the junior high cafeteria. I'm just wondering if a project that's this large, not that those weren't, if there was some discussion about entertaining ideas or bids or conversation with other providers that provide the same services as McClure to get other bids for the job. Understand that the school district is the contract to lay no money out in the beginning or at the end of the proposed McClure project, if it didn't need to be that there was a definite that we had to have other contractors give bids, at least 2 others. I've been told that you need at least 3 bids for any big construction project on school grounds. But you're going with the state-provided number 1 contractor may supersede that. I was just curious on that end.
Are we fielding questions, or is it just comments?
Do you want to comment on it, or do you want to record, do you want to comment?
We are moving forward with the allowable co-stars purchasing option. If approved by the school board this evening.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay. That's all guests that have signed up for public comment on agenda items.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 2, review and approval of the minutes. You've all received copies of the minutes of May 8th and May 30th. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Make a motion.
Gary, thank you. Second?
I think it was Mr. Crispin.
Second.
Oh, Chrisman, I'm sorry, I apologize. Mr. Chrisman and Mr. Fedorcha was the second. Thank you. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. Special board reports, Ms. Husak, CLIU.
Thank you. Quick update, we had a very short meeting in May, but I am happy to let everyone know that we did hire a new executive director to replace Dr. Ibe, who will be retiring at the end of the year. Dr. Gregory Coons will be starting with us on August 14th at the IU. He is, or currently is, an executive director at IU 29, so he will be joining IU 21 here in the summertime. So looking forward to having him on board and see what's coming down at the IU. Next Wednesday, June 20th, is our Special Needs Children's Foundation golf tournament, going to be held out at Old Homestead. If anybody's interested in golfing, we're still taking golfers and any kind of donations of such. I hope to see everybody out there, and hoping for sun, but could use a little rain every once in a while too, but looking for sun on Tuesday. So, thank you.
Thank you, yeah. Lehigh Career?
Okay, I do not have a report. I was not at the meeting. I was visiting my family and attending my grandson's graduation at Cornwall High School. They were 1,800 students graduated that year. And I will say, they did the graduation in 2 hours. It was marvelous. But anyway, I don't have anything else because I did not see any of the minutes yet, but I was informed today because I have to come and sign papers. I was elected treasurer.
Well, we got ours in 2 hours also, so, yeah. That's a challenge. Thank you, Mr. Fedorcha. Ms. Snyder, legislative report?
I'll try to be quick and I'll read a little fast, sorry. The Senate and House of Representatives were in session last week. Last week, the House of Representatives passed and sent to the Senate HB 611, which is an amended version of the 2023-24 state budget bill, which was originally introduced as the plan offered by Governor Shapiro in March. The budget will be passed. The budget bill was passed with a party line vote of 102 to 101. As passed by the House, the bill would increase state spending to about $46.5 billion, which is $2.1 billion more than what was included in the governor's budget, which was $44.4 billion. Like the governor's plan, HB 611 also includes a focus on education and contains increases for K through 12 in these areas. An additional $100 million in basic education funding for a total of $8.5 million. An additional $50 million for special education for a total of $1.49 billion. Maybe that might be million, sorry. Adding $250 million for school facilities, maintenance, and improvements. The governor's plan called for $100 million, adding $30 million for after-school programs, and then adding a $225 million level up supplement, which was not included in the governor's budget. Now that HB 611 is in the hands of the Senate Appropriations Committee, it is expected that the language will be replaced with the Senate's version of a budget plan. This sets the stage for more rigorous negotiations among the House, Senate, and the administration before the final budget plan is inserted into HB 611 or some other vehicle bill. The deadline to approve a new budget is June 30th. The House returned to session today, and the Senate will return on June 19th, and we will continue to be updated on the budget as they see things go forward. That's it.
I think I heard of that's it there at the end, is that correct? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Quickly on LTRC, as we finish our spring semester, move into the summer, our enrollment is down slightly, as I think is almost every college and university in the United States. We will, however, I think, meet our budget obligations, so we should be okay there. And we're looking at our summer school now and hoping we can pick up some numbers there. A lot of conversation about dual enrollment, which I think the administration is aware of, so we can go on from there. And that's all I have. Okay, you all received members of copies of the committee reports under item E. Item F. I don't think we have an item F tonight, so get through that one. Any solicitors report?
I do. I just wanted to make the board aware of a recent case that was decided in April of 2023 by the Commonwealth Court. It's Pencrest School District versus Cagle, and the legal issue in that case is whether school board members can be required to produce social media posts from their own personal Facebook accounts. In this situation, a third party had photographed 6 LGBTQ books that were posted in the library in anticipation of Pride Month, and this third party posted some negative comments on his social media post. A board member publicly shared that post and then added his own derogatory comments. The gentleman Cagle requested the Facebook posts as well as any comments related to LGBTQ issues from the district via a right-to-know request. OOR, the Office of Open Records, ordered the district to produce the Facebook posts from the personal board members' Facebook accounts. The trial court affirmed, the Commonwealth Court reversed and remanded, indicating that the court must consider, in addition to whether the record documents a school board transaction or activity, or was created in connection with agency business. The court must also consider whether the board member acted in his official capacity when he made those posts. One of the arguments is those posts triggered a whole host of public comments and discussions at public board meetings. So it's been remanded. Once it's actually decided, I will bring the decision back to you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Questions on it? I think at item H, Dr. Stoker.
Thank you. Just to give an update on our ESSER grant spending, it's much like we've been spending lately in the past few months. ESSER 2 was spent on salary and benefits for our ESSER paras, our ELDP teacher, the additional kindergarten teacher we had this year, the technology integration specialist, and director of educational technology curriculum and instruction. ESSER 3 was spent on hotspots and our nurse that we have at Peters. And with regard to ESSER 3B, after school we did pay for some tutoring for our staff. That's all I have.
Thank you for your update. I think you're next, Dr. Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Green. So this evening, I'm very excited to share with you that a number of our high school students accomplished something quite remarkable, and I think at least double the amount as compared to the previous year. I'm referring to the Act 35 test, or what we often call the civics assessment. This year, we had the following students score a perfect on this assessment, which the district now gives. So the names that I am about to read, I'm looking around the audience quickly. I don't see any of our members here because, of course, it is summertime. But the following students earned a perfect on the Act 35 assessment. And those individuals are Isaiah Warner, Jada Vasquez, Elizabeth Yost, Lawson Hoffman, Jackson Van Norman, Jordan Chando, Dean Freer, Brody Dye, and James Stock. So congratulations to those individuals on achieving perfects on that particular assessment. This evening, I would also like to give a report on just kind of some end-of-year activities that have occurred over the last few weeks. Of course, graduation was our big event, and that was held on June 2nd in Bulldog Stadium, where we celebrated our class of 2023. This year, 116 out of 116 seniors graduated, which again is a perfect score. Our co-valedictorians, Danielle Doherty and Delia Queer, along with class vice president Asiya Salih and student council president Madeline Mack, addressed to graduates and guests. During the evening, 13 retirees were also recognized for their years of service to the district. We wish all the graduates and retirees all the best in the future. The last 2 weeks of school included some milestones and fun events, such as elementary concerts and field days, as well as moving up ceremonies. Also, middle school students participated in class trips and award ceremonies, as did our high school students. Today, we kicked off our summer programs with the first day of summer STEAM camp at the elementary, middle, and high school levels under the leadership of Mr. Weber, who's with us this evening. And administration is well into planning for upcoming the school year for professional development and filling the last few vacancies for the new school year. That concludes my report this evening, sir.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Link? No? Okay, we'll turn to Ms. Malatoris for a budget discussion.
Just waiting for Stephen to get the budget up. There we go. All right, so this is going to be, we're not going to go as in-depth as we did the other night at Finance Committee meeting, so we're just going to skip to the important slides. So this one is, again, we're through our final budget for the 23-24 school year. Stephen, if you can go to slide 3, please. One more. There we go. So this is our estimated fund balance as of June 30th of 2023. Estimating will probably end somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 million at the end of the school year. That is currently using $850,000 for out of our assigned fund balance for the balancing of this year's budget. But again, our current budget is built with that 5% increase that was built into, that was approved at the May preliminaries. So wherever the Board of Education lands on how much they would like to use out of fund balance to balance the budget, this number will probably go higher, because if the board uses more fund balance and takes that down to, let's say, 4%, you're going to have to make up that gap between the 4 and the 5%. So that money then will be added and we will need to come out of fund balance.
I just want to clarify something. So the budget that you presented to us includes a 5%?
It includes a 5% because that was passed in the preliminary, correct. But it's nothing that you have to land on. You can choose whatever you want then, and the budget will adjust then according to that.
Okay, I didn't realize we put the full 5%.
Well, we passed that in the intent.
Yeah, we
to-
passed
Correct, we passed
So it has to
it
be
as
put in the-
intended.
Okay.
In the initial.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yep. Next slide, Stephen, please. So where do we land? Our expenditures are $38,498,189, and our revenues are $37,942,309. Again, those revenues in the local is there's $767,000 of taxes. That is the 5% tax increase. And again, as I stated, if the board chooses a lesser percentage of increase, that money will have to be added to the budget shortfall and will come out of fund balance. Currently, as we sit, we're still $555,880 short
And we are already committing to using $294,000 out of fund balance for those health care increases. Stephen, next slide, please. All right, so again, as I stated, your budget shortfall right now is the 856.19. That's the 294 of the healthcare fund balance and the 558 of the balanced budget. I mean, 555,880 that we will use to balance the budget with the the fund balance. Stevens, can you? Again, this is potential additional revenues, not currently in the budget, the governor's budget, depending upon when that passes. Those are not built into our budget, so there's roughly almost $390,000 if the governor's budget does come to fruition. Next slide, Stephen. Next slide, Stephen. And one more. So it's where does the board want to land with their tax revenue projection? So again, the current budget is built in with a 5%, which is $767,021 in additional tax revenue. If you go down to 3.5%, that's $500,000, $509.78. So if you go down to 500, you're adding $267,000 back to that $800 and some thousand that we were short. So you will be using over $1 million in fund balance to balance the budget if you land at a 3.5. And that's all we have, so I'm guessing it's open for discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Or on where the board would like to stand with a budget increase.
Okay, quickly, I would like to just state under item K that we did have an executive session at 6 o'clock this evening. We had some legal items and some personnel items that we discussed. So since we've just gone through the budget presentation, the first thing is the adoption of the budget. We'll do the same thing that we did at the last meeting. We'll look for the board to come with a consensus on a percentage increase. And I think Mrs. Malatoris has done the work that as soon as we do that, she can come up with the numbers and fill in the blanks here. And then we'll take a second vote when the numbers are filled in. When I say she's done that, I think you're probably breaking it to 0.25%. You know, let's not do like 4 7/16 or something. I don't think she went quite that far. But so we would look for a motion and a second, of course, to approve a budget at a percentage increase. As stated earlier, the preliminary budget was 5%. We cannot exceed 5%. So having said that, I would look for a motion to approve the budget.
Mr. Green, can we have discussion before or after that?
I would like a motion in a second, and then we'll have discussion, okay?
Thank you.
So is there a motion of a percentage increase for the budget anywhere, anyone? Looking right, looking left, anyone? All right, we want a budget next item, we'll move along, but,
Do you want Stephen to throw back up the slide with the percentages? Thank you, Stephen. Oh, go forward one. There you go.
again, the floor is open for a motion.
Mr. Green, just to move to get discussion.
Thank you.
Alone, I will go with the 3.5.
3.5. We have a motion for 3.5. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Mr. Kern. Thank you. Okay, now we have a motion and a second, and it's time for discussion. Comments, discussion, etc., on a 3.5% increase.
I have a question for Mrs. Snyder from what she was reading as far as the governor's budget goes. So how different was that than the numbers that Sherry has up here as far as what would
Well,
come to
that's
us?
overall statewide, so it's really hard to say what each school district is gonna get, so. I mean, the Governor Shapiro has education as a major priority on his budget. That's like the first priority. He even has the charter schools in there as well. I listened to a little webinar about what his budget's gonna be, including and stuff, and those were his priorities. As far as also was mental health.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So I guess I'll make a quick comment. I think I would like to see a tax increase of 0, but realistically, I don't think that's possible. With how everything increases, we gotta keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. But I also just want to make a keynote here that since we're also in discussion with the solar project, that even if we proceeded with the solar project, the savings that we got from that would not allow, it would still, we would still have to raise taxes. It's not gonna be a tax deterrent. Unfortunately, it's a drop in the bucket. 3.5, I think, is a decent compromise. I think 5 is way too much for our residents, since we're about, 96% homeowner funded? I don't like 3.5, but it's a lot better than 5.
Can we see the impact on taxpayers at 3.5, please?
Sure, Stephen, can you go back right there? So actually, I didn't take it that far, did I? Let me see if I have it in another slide. So here's an easy way to do it. Go back to that slide, Stephen, please. So 4%, every quarter of a percent is $9. So if you're going to take, in Lehigh County, so if you're going to take it down to 0.5%, you're taking $18 off of that $136.66. And for Northampton County, it's $9. So, I'm sorry, it's $8 in Northampton County. So at the 4%, $153, you're going to take $16 off of that, and that's going to put you at the 3.5%.
Okay. Any other discussion? Looking left, anyone on the left want to add their 2 cents? No pun intended. No? Anyone on the right? No? If there's no more discussion, we'll give it a try. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed?
No.
No.
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Disler,
Yes.
Mr. Fedorcha,
Yes.
Ms. Franz,
Yes.
Ms. Husak, yes. Mr. Kern,
Yes.
Ms. Culp,
No.
Ms. Snyder,
No.
Mr. Green,
No?
Mr. Chrisman. Not gonna matter.
Yes.
I think that was a yes. Was that a yes?
Yes, it was a yes.
Okay,
6
thank you.
yeses,
Okay.
3 noes.
Yep. So the
Yes,
motion
passes.
of a 3.5% increase is approved by a 6-3 vote. So you have those numbers then for us, Ms.
Stephen,
Bosworth?
can you pull up the 3.5% homestead, please? While he's pulling that up, the motion for the actual number 4, which is the adoption of the general fund budget, letter A, Lehigh County millage rate will be 24.8655. Expressed in hundreds, it would be 0.0248655. And for Northampton County, it's 71.8117. Expressed in hundreds, it would be 0.0718117. That is the motion for the general fund adoption of the 23-24 budget. And then when we get to letter B, this is the board motion for letter B. So
Okay, everybody have those numbers? I won't remember them, but I wrote them down.
Just
Okay.
real quick, for the homestead, farmstead,
Sure.
do we still send letters to residents who have not filed for a
Yes,
homestead?
every January we have to do that.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, is that, the homestead, farmstead, do you send a letter just once, or is it once a year?
If they're not on the tax rolls, and they can be, if they refuse not to sign it, every year they will get it until we get proof that, one, it's a rental property, so stop sending me the documents.
Okay.
Or they sign up for the homestead farmstead.
Okay.
Yep, it continues to get sent every year, every January.
So, there might be some people that might not know what homestead, farmstead is. It is a tax relief program by the
Correct.
county?
Correct. That is exactly what it is. It is your gaming monies from the slots and the gaming tables in Pennsylvania, comes back to the school district, and it is offset on your tax bills. Correct. This year, every homestead property will see, or farmstead property will see if they are at the max for the millage rate. For the assessment rate, it's 14 227 in Lehigh County, it's 4,926 in Northampton County. You will see $353.76 off of your tax bill.
Okay. So if you didn't file for homestead, file for it.
File for homestead.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's worth your while, yeah.
Yep.
Any other questions at this time? Okay, I'm in a dilemma whether I want to do just the budget. I think we'll just do everything under item 4. So look for a motion to approve the homestead, the farmstead, the whole 9 yards under item 4. Is there a motion to approve those items?
Here. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Once again, discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And I guess that means it's unanimous. Okay, we're done with that then. That was easy. Okay, I'm moving now on to page 4, I think, and I'm in personnel. Items A, B, C, D, E, F. How far do we go? G, H. Oh, long way. I, J, K, L, M, N. O, P, okay, O, P. Items that are personnel, A to P. Is there a motion to approve that?
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion or questions on any of those items? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. Policy, we have item A, first reading, and we also have the student parent handbooks that we went over at our committee meeting. Is there a motion to approve the policy items?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Chrisman, a second.
Second.
Second, thank you. Any questions on the policy? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We have 2 conferences. Motion to approve the conferences.
Here.
Second.
That was Gary with the motion.
Mr. Disler with the motion and Mr. Chrisman with the second.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Discussion on those items? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. Okay, we have curriculum and instructions. We got a whole bunch of things down there. Is there a motion to approve curriculum and instructions, item A through L? A motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, I think it's great that, I don't know if this is this subject, but we're putting an IU class here. I'm not sure if that's in this section, but I just think it's great that Northern High is able to offer that additional class for the IU.
Thank you.
I have a question regarding this, Indiana University. Could we just get a little more clarity on what this will be doing?
I can speak to that. So we have partnership agreements with various colleges so that we can have student teachers and researchers come. And so this is an agreement. They actually do a veterans program. So it's people that are getting out of the military that are looking to further their education. So it would be student teachers coming through that program.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. I think we're at old business, is that correct? I'm scribbling back there. Old business, I have nothing under old business. No new business. We have it broken down here, so I'm going to look for a motion to approve new business A, items A and B.
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, that's where my
That's your question.
that's where my question was from.
Are you comfortable with the answer?
Yes,
Ms. Cole?
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me know who's available.
Okay, all those in favor of old business A and B, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. And so ordered. We're on new business BA, if that makes any sense, but that's where we are. Is there a motion to approve new business item BA?
Yeah.
Is there,
Disler.
Mr. Disler, thank you.
Disler, sorry.
Is there a second? Is there a second to item 11, business B, item A?
Is this for the solar?
Yes, sir. Are you seconding the motion?
I'm not, no.
You are not?
No.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on item 11?
Yeah. So I think we need to be really careful with this one. I know we've been going back and forth for a long time. And I think there's still a lot of uncertainties that we need to explore. And I hope the rest of you can see that there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of uncertainties, there's a lot of things I think we need to still explore. So I'll just leave it at that.
I agree with Chad.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll start beginning. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
No.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fedorcha?
Yes.
Ms. Franz?
No.
Ms. Husak? No. Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Ms. Culp?
No.
Ms. Snyder?
No.
Mr. Green?
Yes?
Mr. Chrisman?
No.
Mr. Disler?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, item is defeated.
Yep,
I'm sorry.
Four-
You-
four yeses,
yeah,
5
4
noes.
yes, 5 no. I'm sorry, I should have waited for that.
that's okay, sorry.
Where are we at? We're item, actually 10, 11, 12 at this point in time. New business, and look for a motion to approve items A under new business C.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Kern, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, thank you. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. We have financial, got a bunch of things there. Oh, while we're still on new business, I'm going to make this statement now. I would like to, at this point in time, call a special meeting for Monday, July 2nd. That's the second meeting in Monday. And we're going to do two things that night. I think that's the right date, is that?
July 10th.
What did I say? July
Second.
July 10th, the second Monday. Okay? Let me just be clear on that. July 10th, the second Monday. And that will predominantly be an executive session where we will do Mr. Link's annual review, and we will also do the board self-evaluation that we discussed previously. So you should be getting that in the mail, both of those in the mail shortly. So if you would please fill those out and send them in, and we'll have discussion on July 10th. I'm open. Do you want to do 5:30? Do you want to do 6? What works for people? Looking around, anyone? You don't cry. You'd rather do 6?
6, yeah, it's just easier.
6 works better. Okay, then we'll make it at 6 p.m. It'll be here in the boardroom and possibly back in the other room. Okay. All right. Having completed that, we're moving now to financial. And again, we have a whole bunch of items under financial. So a motion to approve those items.
I'll make a motion.
Motion? That was Mrs.
I'll
France, right?
second.
Yeah. Second? We have a second? Thank you, Natalie. Any questions on the financial items? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And so ordered. We have 3 expulsion hearing waiver approvals. Motion to approve the legal items.
So moved.
Motion, is there a second? Second, thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. And so ordered. I have nothing under correspondence. Anyone have anything? Ms. Husak or anybody? No?
No.
Okay. Have a couple information items there. Are there any other guests that are on there that wanted to comment?
Mr. Weber has signed up to possibly comment on non-agenda items.
I'm good, other than to say thank you for a great year, looking forward to a great summer next year. Thank you for a new contract.
Thank you for doing the STEAM camp, so.
Along with that, school board members, you're invited to come. Please come and check out. Tomorrow we have the president from Next Bank coming. They are our greatest financial supporter. But I'd like to invite all of you to come there.
What time
Thanks
is
for
it?
your time. A good time to come would be probably 10 o'clock, 10 to 11.
Thank you.
And it's Monday through this Thursday and Monday through next Thursday also.
Specific location?
Here, Sladen.
They're all held here, is that right? They're not
Yes.
held
Well,
at the middle school?
Sladen, elementary and middle school, but then Mr. Lincoln probably tell you a little bit more about the other camps.
Sure. So the other STEAM camp that is currently happening, Mr. Bennett and, oh my goodness. And thank you. Mr. Bennett and Mr. Shuey are running the high school STEAM camp, which also began today. And then the rest of the camps will begin early July, running throughout the rest of the summer. And if I may just take a minute to thank and compliment the Teachers Association and the school board for coming to agreement on a 4-year contract. That's going to pave the way for a lot of great things to happen over the next 4 years here in the school district. So again, as your superintendent, thank you. That's going to make the work that we do here much easier and much more productive over the next few years.
Thank you. Okay, we have no other guests. Any other business we need to attend to tonight? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Your motion, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no, and we're finished.
Good.